This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I'm Jacob in Payne, bringing you 10 stories in the queue for this morning. Actually, it's a bit more than 10. It was a pretty big weekend. A lot of things going on, and so many things going on, we had to really compress to make things that were relevant. So if you're new here, this is going to be a supersized edition. Normally 10 real stories today. It's actually more like 15. And coming from the weekend, we have a whole lot of stories this weekend. It's more on Monday than it is on Tuesday through Friday. So the rest of the week will be 8 stories in a day. Today, 10 stories queued up to give you a update to what happened all weekend long. So many things happened that you may have forgotten a few things. And these are some of the bigger stories that you actually told us what to talk about. You made them conversational. You engaged in them. They cover information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. We, of course, have a lot of Jimmy Carter and actually a lot of passings for the weekend. So that's going to be in there. Tina Knowles is in the news talking about her girl Beyoncé, and Magnus Carlsen. Every time I bring up the craziness that is chess, you guys freak out about it. But guess what? When I put it in there, you engage because it's just like Young and Restless. It's that much drama. Those and other stories for this morning. We'll explain the vetting process after we go through the headlines, but remind you right now, our website, The Conversation Project, lives online at thisconversationproject.com. All the details you need about us to kind of get caught up are right there for you. And you can email me with what you think about this, good or bad or indifferent, at the email address, theconversationinbox@gmail.com. If I have not said so yet, it is December the 30th, 2024. We are a day away from New Year's Eve and a day away from the new year. So a lot of things happening, wrapping up this last week, last couple of days before the year. So let's get into all the things, including a lot of passings in the last weekend. Literally this last 3 days, we have a lot to mark. Normally, like we said, we have, 10 stories. Here in this one story, we're trying to pack 5 into one as quickly as possible, marking the passings of, from the weekend, one of Olivia Hussey, who was a Romeo and Juliet and Black Christmas star, died at the age of 73. Also, Dayle Haddon died in a suspected carbon monoxide leak at a Hallmark Stars Pennsylvania home, someone else's home, and that was a sad thing as well. OG Maco, that's one name that may not really point out, but it got enough engagement for make sure that everyone got a little bit of love today. The Georgia rapper known for, you guessed it, died at the age of 32. The biggest one that I saw going forward into the weekend happening in Saturday into Sunday as people gave a lot of accommodations and a lot of love for Greg Gumbel, who died at the age of 78 after a battle with cancer. And of course, the one that was the most, should have been most unexpected when it happened. Former President Jimmy Carter died at the age of 100. The former president, of course, was 39 in the presidential lineage, and a Nobel Peace Prize laureate passed away on the 29th of December this year in his hometown of Plains, Georgia. Born on October 1st of 1924 in Plains, he graduated from U.S. Naval Academy in 1946 and served in the Navy until 53. He then returned to Georgia to manage his family's peanut farming business. Then his political career started, first in the state Senate for Georgia in 63 to 67, and then as the governor from 71 to 75. And in 76, he was elected to be president, serving from 77 to 81. The first president in my brain knowledge, because I was born in 75. And oddly enough, a reason why I got into the thought process of politics at the very young age, and that's a whole other story for another time. Over his time, he had the Camp David Accords between Egypt and Israel. He established the Department of Energy and Education. So the Department of Education, not quite as old as we think it is, although I think it is pretty much useful right now, and put a strong emphasis on human rights, being a Southern governor, having so much love for human rights and civil rights as well. Of course, many challenges, including the hostage crisis with Iran, which lasted well over time, and of course, was the reason why we have the show Nightline to begin with, and the economic difficulties, gas crises, and those along that. After he was the president, of course, that's when the real work started. He dedicated himself to humanitarian efforts going forward. He founded the Carter Center in 1982 to promote human rights and alleviate suffering worldwide, which he did a pretty good job in making that message known and doing what he can about that. His global health, democracy promotion, and conflict resolution earned him his Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. And of course, known for his involvement with Habitat for Humanity, basically building houses until they tell him, hey, Prez, you have to get off that house. You're kind of too old for this. This was something he really stopped doing after many protests, many of them from his wife, Rosalind Carter, who he was married to for 77 years. She passed away in 2023. They both entered hospice within months of each other. Of course, President Carter lived on to beyond the time that they was there. They have four children, 11 grandchildren, 14 great-grandchildren. And in February of 23 was when he actually entered hospice care. And he remained there all this time until his passing. His last public appearance outdoors was at the funeral for his wife, Rosalynn Carter. And he's made many people have stopped by to talk to him. He's made many things. He's done stuff in video. But of course, the recent thing we talked about him was him being too frail to travel to the inauguration for President Trump. He also didn't go to President Biden as well because he was not that well. State funeral will be scheduled for January the 9th of 2025 and a national day of mourning presented by President Joe Biden, who ordered flags be flown at half staff for 30 days. He will lie in state at the Capitol before the funeral service in Washington National Cathedral and followed by a private interment in Plains, Georgia. Many leaders across the world and across the nation are giving their praise and giving their honors and tributes to Mr. Carter on a very big weekend. As we said, many people of note lost lives this weekend over, the last bit of days. And these are the days where people are kind of marking the days to see who will last out to the end of the year. It's kind of morbid, but it is what's happening. President Carter was allowed 100 years of life. And one will say that's a pretty good run on its own. But a second life, where you say a third life in his humanitarian work after his politics stuff and his Navy stuff and his 77 years being married to his wife, we can all hope to have something so great. We will definitely all mourn and miss the life and the works. You may not have to agree with his politics, and many people pretty much agree he wasn't the greatest president in modern times, but a great man, a great human all around. You can be a great man, woman, child, human if you have this money, or you can be a total jerk. It's up to you because you've got the money to do this. One ticket in California sold for $1.22 billion in the winning Mega Millions jackpot over the weekend. One single ticket for $1.22 billion sold to at one gas station, a Circle K, Sunshine Food and Gas, and they're going to get $1 million bonus for selling that ticket. Good for them. Winning numbers on the drawing, if you want to check your ticket because you didn't check it yet, and you're in California. 3, 7, 37, 49, 55, and the gold mega ball number 6. You can choose either the 29-year payment or the lump sum. So if you think you're going to last 30 years, maybe, although the dollars really don't add up. The lump sum is $549.7 million. I think that's good enough to go with that one. No one has stepped forward yet. It's only been a few days. Have you seen in these larger things, it takes a while for people to actually come forward. Mostly because they're actually doing the right things. They're seeing lawyers, they're seeing financial counselors, they're getting everything in order. They're making sure that when they announce themselves, because I'm pretty sure in California you have to announce yourself publicly when you do this, they can disappear. So all their affairs are in order so that as soon as people know they have the money, they can go someplace and not be bothered. Maybe with a moat with sharks. Maybe I would do it. Hey, if I got 549, we'd have a moat with sharks. It would definitely happen. Christine with a K, prepare for a moat with sharks when we actually win this thing. We're never going to win this thing. Over the weekend, we opened up with the talk with Elon Musk and Ramaswamy. I'm not sure who actually opened it up first, but it was a talk about H-1B visas. We did like 3 videos between Friday and yesterday talking about the saga as this thing progressed. In actuality, I was ready to do my last video on this one Sunday. Then I found out about the passing of Jimmy Carter and did that one first and then put this one on. I think I did make the right decision because this video that we have right now going on to this is actually getting some traction. But here's what happened with that. Now, the H-1B visa program, which allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers in specialized occupations requiring specialized knowledge and a bachelor's degree or higher, is a big deal. And the big deal came about as Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy sort of went back and forth with sort of the MAGA crowd, saying that we have to get these visas from these people who are foreign people because Americans aren't smart enough and don't have the drive to it. They watch too much Saved by the Bell, which of course, I guess in reruns, and Boy Meets World, which I guess is also streaming on Disney Plus, I guess. But because we honor those type folks, we honor the jocks over the math athletes and the cheerleaders over the people who go to regular science club. We don't have the right people. We don't have the right mindset as Americans, coming from an immigrant and a person who's literally a immigrant from South, a child of immigrants. Swami is American and he ran for president, and a actual immigrant who came here on a student visa, not an H-1B visa, Elon Musk. and of course got his start from money from a emerald mine in South Africa or something like that. But in order to fill these big IT, engineering, and science jobs, we have to get these people on these visas. MAGA folks are like, yeah, that's immigration. Those are foreigners. We don't like any of them, whether they're crossing the border to take jobs as dishwashers or taking a plane to take jobs in Silicon Valley. It also has an added bonus for the Silicon Valley folks that they're bringing these people in on these visas that tie them to their work, more or less like the agricultural visas, if you will, but it ties them to the work so they can work them at whatever they want to, whatever price they can, basically cheaper. One reason why Americans don't take the jobs is because Americans would want more money, and you get cheaper labor someplace else, they go for it. Here's the deal. President-elect Donald Trump, because he's still not president yet, put his 2 cents into the matter and said, yes, H-1B visas are awesome. So he basically backed Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, the Doge Bros. The stance has sparked a debate in the MAGA movement because it's not America first if you're looking for Indians and Chinese people over Americans first. It literally is not in the definition. It's not making America great again. It's making America okay again with other foreign workers. Critics are arguing that the program may undercut U.S. wages. As I already said, you can bring people in and tie them to that job for less money. But also they say we don't have the skills to make it work. We need more people to make these things work. Also, we could make more schools to hire people and train people so they're ready to go, which Musk says, if you got to make more schools, you're already losing. Too bad. Let's get the visa folks. The program plays a significant role in the labor market. It's a really, really big deal for the tech sector and all of us as well for highly skilled workers. But there's always that story of, the cab driver in New York City who used to be a doctor someplace, but because he got here, whatever, and the circumstances are what they were, they're driving cabs. They're doing stuff like that. They're doing what they can to survive and just move on. The visa program is controversial because, well, like you said, you bring in people for higher talents, and you can pay them less based on this job. And the really controversial thing is more people are actually overstaying H-1B visas than essentially crossing the border and sneaking in and taking the jobs that are worth anything. It's complicated. It's really complicated. So it's not something we can really discuss in the 3 minutes we do for these news stories. But if you want to give a comment, you want to talk about it, we have a lot of people commenting already on the comments we have right now. Please do. So you'll join the conversation. We're going to do more on this one because this one's not going away. The Doge Bros are not going away. Donald Trump obviously not going away, and we're not even in his presidency yet. We're like 20 days before it starts. So we have a whole lot of rowing to hoeing, hoeing to rowing, row going. Taking a stop for the extremely serious for a moment. The New York subway killing suspect indicted on murder and arson charges. This is for Sebastian Zapata Carrillo, the 33-year-old Guatemalan national who's been indicted by a Brooklyn grand jury on charges of first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and first-degree arson. He is accused of setting a woman on fire aboard a stationary F train on the Coney Island Stillwell Avenue station in Brooklyn. That date was December 22nd, 2024, so not so long ago, and we are now have him indicted, and the process for him begins now. The victim is believed to be a homeless woman who was sleeping when the attack occurred and pronounced dead on the scene. And according to the prosecutors, Zapata Cahill used a lighter to ignite the woman's clothing and then fanned the flames with his shirt, ensuring that the fire spread. He reportedly remained at the scene, observing the victims succumb to injuries and actually watching workers trying to put the fire out and save her life. It's considered unprovoked. No known prior interaction between Zapata Hill and the victim, although many reports of people who have lived with him, stayed with him, know him, says that he is a fairly docile guy until he gets drunk or gets high, and then things get crazy. He's actually been deported from U.S. in 2018 and was living homeless shelters here in New York City when this happened, and was apprehended pretty quickly, being recognized by teenagers when his image was put out there. He's still riding the same train line that same day. So it happened in the morning. By afternoon, he was picked up. We still don't know the identity of the victim due to the severity of her burns. Authorities are employing advanced fingerprinting and DNA to find out who it is. They suspect she was also a homeless person who was on the train trying to stay warm in the cold in New York City, and that's how this whole thing happened. One of the things that make the old news new again is that the Guardian Angels, the voluntary vigilante group from back in the 80s, are back to patrolling New York City subways. This is the first time they've done this since 2020. So this is newer. So back when the subways got really, really bad and it was kind of a publicity stunt. So you can call that one again, I guess. They also are going to conduct wellness checks for homeless individuals and provide assistance and report issues to the New York PD so they can help do more things. So there are going to be more visible actions. You know, the guys with the red jackets and the red berets are walking through the streets and walking through the subways to make sure that less of this thing's happening. There's been so many things in the realm of crime in the subways that just are terrible. And it's something that for a reason that should be a regional thing for New York City. It's a national headline story. We talked about Daniel Penny and his case back, him being acquitted about a few weeks ago. These are becoming national stories of just crime in general, and it seems like it's isolated. In theory, we're being told crime rates are essentially lower and more controlled, but the ones that get out there, the more salacious stories are just so big and so salacious, you wouldn't know the difference. Let's go light for a bit. Or this one might actually be a pretty heavy one as well. If you're a big fan of Bad Bunny, who's like one of the most biggest names in the nation, if it's not Taylor Swift, Beyoncé, it's probably Bad Bunny. He's got a new album coming out, Debí, Tirar, Fotos, which, of course, I should have taken more photos. I should have said that instead of the Spanish version. He had 6th studio album coming out in January of 2025. 1 week away, baby, and he's back. The announcement was made through a teaser video featuring the Puerto Rican filmmaker Jackpot Morales, reflecting on the importance of captivating and capturing life's moments. 17 new tracks, including singles like El Club and Puerto de Coco. Track list lists a connection to Puerto Rican and music traditions, with each song intriguingly titled La Bamba. Well, I totally messed that up. So his last album release was in 2023, and so it's not so long ago, but it's a big deal. It coincides with Three Kings Day, a celebration in January, so that's why it's on the 5th. Fans can pre-add the album on Apple right now, where it's listed as a total duration of 7 minutes, suggesting some tracks may be brief, possibly catering to a TikTok era. So it may be a quick 30-second song for Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny, of course, big. Of course, the thing that really caught my attention with Bad Bunny when he did the song Booker T, which basically had him rapping and Booker T, the wrestler, just standing there in camo, looking like G.I. Bro character, going back and forth. He actually produced it. It was one of the wrestling shows. It might have been WrestleMania where he performed for that one, which got his start into wrestling. A couple of big matches with Bad Bunny going for him there. Also, big names. A lot of people are on this album, but Bad Bunny, if it's not Taylor Swift and not Beyonce, it's probably Bad Bunny. And that album comes out on the 5th of January. So back away, folks. He's back and big time. We apologize for the length of this episode. We normally don't go that long, and some of the stories we did went really deep dives, but we really went deep dive into the deaths we had for the past weekend and going into the life and legacy of President Carter. So normally this is a quicker thing, not that quick, but this is the point where we take a pause and we have more stories coming, 5 more to come. So stay with us, but we need your help. If you're new here and you're liking what you're seeing, we ask you to like the video that you're watching and share it with other folks who might enjoy the news as we're presenting it, the news and the commentary. My commentary is pretty straightforward. I give you the details that are the actual fact stuff, and then I tell you what I think about it or where it may go. If you like that, like it. If you like people who know more stuff like this, share it with them. The more you like it and the more you share it with them, the more people can actually see it. The more likes they get, the algorithm sees it better, and I also know that I'm doing a good job. And we also do various shorts along the way all day long here on this channel, or channels, because we're streaming this to X, to Facebook, and to YouTube right now. So hopefully you're enjoying that. If you're seeing this for the brand new, fresh time, or you've seen us a couple times and now you think, well, it's time to give this guy a shot, go ahead and subscribe to it. The subscriber count is how I get to know who is actually joining. So it's our X numbers, it's our Facebook group numbers, it's, of course, our YouTube numbers. The YouTube numbers are basically what actually gives us our juice and while we rate things. So we're doing fairly well. We're just over 1,600 viewers or 1,600 subscribers, and we can use you in that joint as well. And if you're on YouTube, I ask if it's possible to either buy some merch or join the memberships there. We'll explain more about memberships and partnerships towards the end of the show. But join membership there, and you get exclusives like first looks at a lot of things on the channel. It's awesome. I think it's awesome. Like, share, and subscribe so we get more people in the queue like you. As I said, we're going a little long today. So we'll kind of pick it up a little bit in pace. And this one story I should be able to do by heart at this time because it's getting a bit repetitive. But now we have some more details and data from people because we asked about it. And a poll now shows that most Americans blame the insurance industry alongside the killer in the United Health CEO death. A new NORC poll, because y'all love those, at the University of Chicago revealed that a significant portion of Americans actually attribute responsibility for the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, not only to the perpetrator because he pulled the gun, but to the system itself. It's hating the player, or it's actually loving the player, but hating the game, if you will. Luigi Mangione, of course, did the actual act, but they're blaming, per the actual survey, issues. Primary responsibility is Mangione, 80% because he actually did the deed. However, they think he did the deed that was a great deal and a good thing. Now, the role of the industry of insurance gets about 7% of the surveyed folks saying that it's the level of responsibility to the healthcare insurance companies, essentially them being bad companies, which made the condition so bad and gave Mr. Mangione sort of the thought process to take this into his own hands. And younger Americans, particularly those under 30, are more inclined to view the tragedy as resulting from multiple factors, including the practice of insurance company and Mangione, and not just one single factor being Mangione. Of course, the 26-year-old is accused of fatally shooting Brian Thompson on December the 4th in Manhattan. He's pleaded not guilty to charges, currently waiting trial. The poll actually highlights the widespread public sentiment that systematic issues with the health system is bad. Profit-driven motives, denial of coverage, played a role in circumstances leading to Thompson's death. But it also sort of whitewashes the fact that it really is one person, not a cabal of people. It wasn't some sort of conspiracy. One person came to the thought process that it was needed to do to kill this one man, and it would either fix everything or bring him some sense of justice. Because as it looks like it was being played out, he was essentially going to just start targeting them all, and this was the first one that was available. That's conjecture. That's me bringing it up there. That's me speculating. So take that for what it is. But the broader discussion about ethical responsibilities of healthcare insurance companies and the impact of their practices on public well-being is being thought up right now, being discussed very heavily, unfortunately, after an event like this. Many companies are caving to anti-DEI movements by many consumers and just people out there. Costco is like, no, we got this. They are reaffirming its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and resisting pressure from conservative groups who are advocating for the abandonment of such programs. The National Center for Public Policy Research has recently proposed that Costco evaluate and report on the financial risks associated with maintaining its DEI efforts, suggesting potential legal and financial liabilities. In response, the board of Costco unanimously recommended that the shareholders vote against the proposal, emphasizing that DEI initiatives are integral to the company's core values and business success. Here's a quote from the board. We believe that our diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts are legally appropriate, and nothing in the proposal demonstrates otherwise. Costco seems to be the only company that's fighting back on these things, as basically any big conservative group that says DEI is bad, don't do it, they say, okay, and they just kind of go away with it. In fact, they roll back some things going forward. Costco highlights that a diverse workforce enhances creativity and innovation in merchandise and offerings, fostering a treasure hunt of shopping experience valued by customers. Essentially, getting things from people and workers who are there of various different cultures and backgrounds means there's more stuff to choose from, and they can make more money selling more stuff to choose from, as opposed to my words, lily white, simple sort of plan of action where it's basically basic stuff. The stance is contrasting the recent decisions by major companies, including Walmart, John Deere, Tractor Supply Company, and others who are just basically saying, okay, we're done with it, no more DEI. How do you stand on DEI and how it's going for your favorite company? You let us know in the comments, because this is something obviously not going away. Beyoncé, never going away. And Tina Knowles is going to make sure that you know about that as she responds to criticism of Beyonce's Christmas Day halftime show. The mother of Beyoncé has publicly defended her daughter against online criticism following Beyoncé's halftime performance during the Houston Texans v. Baltimore Ravens game on Christmas Day, with some online commentators calling it overrated and critiquing her performance. Me, as one not saying is overrated, I said it was kind of normal and basically, Beyonce's raised the bar so much, it's hard to really raise the bar on Beyonce. So Tina Knowles is basically yakking at me. But her response took to Instagram to address the negativity, expressing bewilderment and individuals who would spend their holiday watching and then disparaging a performance by someone they profess to like. She suggested that such critics might be obsessed and securely admire Beyonce. Knowles advised detractors to find alternative entertainment for more suited to their preferences, such as cartoons or clowns. Since clowns are scary and cartoons are really not well made these days, they're stuck with Beyonce. She also went with a biblical reference, the one, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Called the Beyonce Bowl because Beyonce basically stole the show because the game was terrible. Beyonce performed in her hometown of Houston, accompanied by guest artists Shabuzi and Post Malone, and her daughter danced alongside her, Blue Ivy. It was a great show. No words on that. By that one, my comments, Ms. Knowles, was, how does Beyonce top Beyonce? I'm sorry. So don't worry about Beyonce. She'll take care of herself. And if not, Mama Knowles got something for you. Another store with another different sort of tactic is dealing with is Big Lots. Big Lots was thought to have a buyer for liquidation, so it was going to sell itself to another store. It would keep itself live, and found out last week that it wasn't. They found out this weekend it's will. They're going to avoid full liquidation and keep 200 to 400 stores alive based on the discount retail chain finding someone else to take over its ownership after filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy in September. The sale was planned to Nexus Capital Management, and they've dropped out. The company is now joining up with Gordon Brothers Retail Partners. This collaboration will facilitate transfer up to 400 stores and 2 distributor centers to Variety Wholesale, Inc., the retailer operating over 400 discount stores in southeastern and mid-Atlantic United States, which means Big Lots may be saved for now as a discounter, as a retailer, still in the all things must go liquidation sort of mode. So it'll be that way. But they plan to operate these stores as Big Lots for a while. So we'll see what happens. This is a pretty big deal. And the actual liquidators and the actual operators do these things for many places. That's why very many stores, outlets that basically should have gone in business are still in business as they are, because there's still things to liquidate, those things going on. So this does not mean Big Lots is going to grow, but it means the inventory it has right now will definitely be sold off at a discount, and the stores will survive as long as they can maintain some of their newer items. I mean, they'll probably have some newer stuff like the groceries type stuff in some places, but some of the things that they've basically been shuffling out here or there will take a while to get sold. And so 400 Big Lots stores around the nation maybe stay alive. Check your local listings to see if you get one of the 200, 400 stores. But this is good news for people who work there, people who love Big Lots, and the economies in those areas, because one more open building is just blight and waste of time. And you can only have so many Spirit Halloween stores. So many. And the drama that began this weekend with the dropout ended with a righteous return, as Magnus Carlsen returns to chess tournament after resolving his dispute over wearing jeans. As I say, every time I drop in one, this is like even bigger than the OnlyFans sort of inside joke that OnlyFans links go in there. You guys jump on them because of the internet. Chess drama is real drama. Magnus Carlsen is the world's top ranked chess player. He's returned to the World's Blitz Chess Championship following a resolution to a recent dress code dispute. Earlier in the tournament, Carlsen withdrew from the World Rapid Chess Championship after being fined $200 for wearing jeans, violating the International Chess Federation's dress code prohibiting denim. Despite the request to change attire, Carlsen just said, "Peace, I'm done with you guys. I don't need you guys. I go play on the street with the guys that, in the park, because they're better." He said it was a matter of principle and said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." In response to the incident, FIDE President Adi Dvorsky announced the need for more flexibility in dress code regulations, suggesting that appropriate jeans with a jacket could be acceptable. This development led to a constructive discussion between Carlsen, FIDE officials, and the tournament's main sponsor, resulting in Carlsen's decision to rejoin the competition. Carlsen expressed his enthusiasm for returning to the Blitz Championship, emphasizing his love for fast-paced format and his desire to perform for his fans, stating, "I love Blitz chess, and I want to give the fans a chance to see me play." The World Blitz Chess Championship, known for its rapid gameplay with 3-minute time controls per player, is currently underway in New York City. Carlsen's participation is highly anticipated, and the result is being live streamed for a global audience. And with him not being there, no one cares. And so, Carlsen, you can wear jeans. Wear them jeans, baby. Wear them jeans. Today's teaser story is one that probably won't last, but we had took a lot of time to get all this work in, and we're running late because we're not on a regular schedule, so bear with us. But this is an interesting story that something that I've been looking into personally for years as one of my side ideas is watching the businesses of things, one particularly being the businesses of churches, spiritual institutions. Churches are having issues staying open as attendance is dwindling. And there's a lot of reasons to that. We won't go deep into this one, but if you want to go deep into this story, I just need you to follow our feeds and engage in the story. That's how we get our stories here for the day. You engage in stories you post all day long on our feeds on Facebook and on X, and then the ones with the higher engagement scores get a shot of being in the rundown here. So Facebook.com/This is a Conversation Project. X.com/th_conversation. As you check your X and check your Facebook all day long anyway, see what we have going on, see what's popping up organically. Make sure you hit for notifications so that you can actually see what's happening. And engage in the stories that you see that are worth jumping into. Maybe it's a story that you really get into and you like it and you want to see more about it. Maybe it's a story that you really kind of makes you angry and you want to see more talk about it because you want that anger fix. We do that as well. You like it, you love it, you hate it, you share it, you do what you can to engage with it, you comment on it, you talk about it, and the more engagement it gets, the better chance we have of talking about it in the next iteration. So what we'll talk about for Tuesday, in the 8 stories we will choose from the top 15 or 16 stories of the day. Churches fighting to stay open because attendance is going down, and why? We shall see. Today's sponsor is AppSumo, and we want you entrepreneurs and small business owners to get a chance to help grow without breaking your bank. So if you don't know about AppSumo, it's a one-stop shop for amazing tools and software at unbeatable prices. And the big thing about these, unbeatable means you pay something for it, you get them forever. One pay, one cost, and you always have it. It's a fraction of the main cost to begin with, and of course, they're for productivity, workflow, and boosting your activities going in your job. And they have great tools that are managed with good AI-powered solutions and other management softwares going forward for your project management life. If you need something to help you get yourself in order, AppSumo probably has it there for you, and you can get it and try it right now. And if it doesn't work, you have 60 days to turn it back in. Money back guarantee for all things. Everything is, explore it for risk-free. And of course, as I said, many of these things are lifetime deals. So I have many AppSumo deals that I've bought literally almost a decade ago, as long as AppSumo has been around, that I still use to this day because it is paid for, period. It's that simple. AppSumo is empowering you to do more and spend less and scale faster. So check out our link. This is theconversationproject.com/AppSumo. This is theconversationproject.com/AppSumo. AppSumo. AppSumo is going to take good care of you. And tell Uncle Noah we said hi because he wants to take good care of you. One of the first folks at Facebook, and he has a famous story of being fired from Facebook and many other places and how it got him into the realm of doing something like this. So check out AppSumo, learn more about Uncle Noah, and get deeper in detail on that one. Conversation Project lives online at this is a conversationproject.com. We want to make sure that your voice can help shape the news. It's very simple. We post news articles every 50 minutes, as we said, on our feed. So follow us on our feeds, and we will take your input to help us pick the stories for the next day. We also have at our website links to various other places that you can find us if the vehicle you have right now doesn't work for you. If you're watching this right now live stream on YouTube, but you're actually a TikTok guy, we have the clips, the news on TikTok. If you're watching this on Facebook and you really want to get into X, the links to X are there. Thoughtful, diverse discussions on what's going on because we offer you up the chance to tell us what stories are there. Then we pick the ones that we think are the best, and you let us know how well we do. And if we don't do so well, email us, theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Let us know what's going on and what's there. Now, we talked about going to the website. There's links to our more of our sponsors if you want to help us out that way. There's links to becoming a partner. If you're on YouTube, you can hit the button and join as a member. Same basic things. It's actually a discount on YouTube if you think about it, or don't think about it. It's a discount levels on YouTube. And you get priority access to things up front. It's just like that simple. So if you want to be a big part of what's going on, we just ask you to follow the feeds and email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. That way we know what's going on. Other ways to support us, we have big plans coming up in 2025. We are growing. We need you there. Like, share, subscribe, so we want more people in the queue, and do what you can if you think we're up to it. If you think we are good stewards of your money and your funds to help us do better, we appreciate it in advance. And with that, we appreciate the time you gave us on this day, a very longish edition of Things You Might Have Heard for Monday, but we had a lot of things to get into, and there's so many big stories that we really didn't get a chance to get into that we'll probably clip up in some news clips throughout the day, because I've still got the week off, so I got a little time. Hopefully you are enjoying what we're having. If you are, like what you're seeing, email me at the conversation inbox, gmail.com. Let me know what we're doing or we should do more of, and we will grow. We will grow. We will be there for you as we wrap out this year for the old and open up the new year on Thursday. So we'll be here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 stories in the queue for you that you helped us to curate. You helped us to be more conversational. So what stories will be good for tomorrow on your New Year's Eve edition? We'll have to see come Tuesday.